はい。大丈夫ですか？みんな聞こえておりますでしょうか？ちょっと待って。ループして。はい。BGM をセットして。はい。やばい。やばい。ちょっと待って。大丈夫です。やばい。ちょっと待って。はい。ツイート。はい。Alright. So I tweeted. Can everyone hear me alright? 大丈夫でしょうか？大丈夫みたいなんで、Hello。早速始めたいと思います。皆さん、こんきびです。きびゆたです。今日は、アニメの、雑談をして、冬の、シーズンで話して、そして、春のシーズンを、ちょっと、調べて、予定です。So I'm going to be going through the winter 2024. Thank you. I'm going to be going through the winter 2024 anime that I watched. And then I'm going to be going into the spring 2024 anime that I will be watching next season. So I'm not really good at updating my anime list. So I've been thinking about this for a while. This is going to be the first anime quarterly, but my goal is to do this every season so I can keep up with my anime list. Because if I don't, I'm never gonna my anime list is gonna be forever out of date. Things like setting. I mean, you can see right here. I don't set my what I'm watching list beforehand. I only do it afterward. So my hope is that doing this on stream, is a good way to talk about what anime I enjoyed. I get to talk about anime in general, which is always something I enjoy. And then also, archive it better than I have before. And so, yeah. If you guys have... There's also another opportunity to recommend me anime. Talk about which anime you have been watching, in the comments. I'll read them. There's not enough comments for me not to read them. So there's a lot of anime, right? You can see it right here. I hope my screen is good enough because I didn't really think about my visual setup that much going into this stream. I kind of just figured, I'll just go into the season page of my anime list and mark off what I've watched, and I don't want to call it a review. It's more like a season in review because there's going to be a lot of anime that I'm going to talk about, but none of it is comprehensive enough for me to really call a full review, in my opinion. If I want to do reviews at some point, yeah. Well, especially because this is going to be seasonal, so it'll be this season and next season. Yeah, it'll be definitely hard, but I'll take recommendations of any kind. But yeah, if I want to do anime reviews, I still haven't posted an actual video to my channel. I do a decent amount of streams, and I do my TikToks every day, but I don't stream, or I haven't done a full size video because I want to. I guess that's not really in creation yet, but it's something I want to do. And after that, I have some ideas about what video, full length videos I want to make. But I suppose once I start one, it'll be easier to make others. But maybe anime reviews are on that docket. I don't know for sure. But regardless, I will be jumping right in though, because I definitely want to get through anime. Talk about anime, what seasons, and if other people come late, I'll be happy to back it up and talk about certain anime. But I will be jumping right in because I've introed long enough. So This is the seasonal anime of winter 2024, and it is currently sorted by number of people who have added it to their My Anime list, I believe. So it's like the number of people who have added it. So I'm just gonna go straight through. There are a lot of anime, and a slight preview of seasonal anime. I don't really track it all the time, like I said before. There's more this season than I've watched in previous seasons, I believe. So I'm gonna be getting through a lot of these. We're gonna start out with, I mean, you can see that the top one is Level Up, or Solo Leveling. These are in Japanese, Romachi. But the top one is Solo Leveling, the Korean manhwa, I believe. I didn't watch this one. I might at some point, but I've never watched this. I know it's on Crunchyroll. Yeah, I haven't watched it. I will at some point if I get bored. These are the kind of shows that, because it's not really my normal, typical watch, it's really something that I'll get saved for maybe quite literally a rainy day. You know, I might watch it at some point. Have not gotten around to it. This was not one that I felt peer pressured to watch going into this stream. There are some of those. I will get into them at some point. But for now, let's add it to plan to watch. Because I can't give a review on something I haven't watched yet. Tsugi. The next one is a very popular series. It's Classroom of the Elite. I say popular because this is the third season of Classroom of the Elite. What that means is that there are 2 other seasons that I've watched. I think that this anime is very good. Oh, a policy on my anime list. I have 2 policies. One of them is my... I guess I should get into this before I actually give a grade to something. The first one is that I'm a pretty tough grader. This is another thing I might make a video at some point about. But when I was like in high school, when I first started watching anime, I was pretty lenient when it came to grades. And as I've watched, I think at this point, over 600 anime, my anime list says, it's just not feasible to group things in like the top 30%, because not all anime are that clumped together. So I used to go by a 7 average, and now I go by a 5 average. Oh, that's fun. If you can recommend manhwa, maybe I will watch Solo Leveling. Not sure yet. But the second rule is that I don't group I group all series. I group all series by the same score. So, as I said, that this is a... Yeah, that's fun. I've actually gotten into like web novels too, for Japanese, but yeah, I find it too... Anyway, going back to like series, I find it too complicated to keep track of which season was a little bit better than others. So an example is Gintama and Natsume's Book of Friends. Both of those, very good anime, but they have like 6 or 7 seasons each. I don't have enough memory to remember which individual seasons are better than others, and I have a bit of OCD, so when I see them all out of shape, I can't remember them. So when it comes to seasons of anime with multiple seasons, I will always mark it the same score as the other ones. I'll either bring the other ones up or mark a slightly better anime a little worse. And that's what goes for Classroom of the Elite. This recent season, in my opinion, a little bit worse than the second season, a little bit better than the first season. And the first season was pretty good. But I'm a fan of Taketatsu Ayana, who is a main character in the second season. She's Karuizawa Kei. So this one was a little, less exciting for me. But regardless, it's still good. Always something you look forward to if you were watching it seasonally, and something you're going to be looking forward to season 4 of coming up at some point. I'm not sure when. In the past, I've given them 7s, so clearly it's above average, because I said my average is 5. So, yes. I think that it is an above average anime, but it doesn't move the needle for me. Like, especially this season, there's a lot of them. Tsugi. Oops. I should have a little bit better memory of what I've marked in the past. The next one is also a second season. This next one is Masho, which is a lot easier to say in Japanese than it is in English. Because in Japanese it's Mashuru, which is katakanized. I am mostly into romance, drama, and especially in a school setting, is my preferred. Classroom of the Elite is actually in that grouping, but it's a little bit tangent to that. But romance, school, drama, priority. I like slice of life, but I think that, and this is something I'll get into later, I think slice of life doesn't necessarily have to be boring. There's kind of like a connotation, I suppose, of slice of life as like nothing happens, and I think that's a huge misnomer. I think that's a huge disservice to slice of life anime. Things like K-On!, which are slice of life, Bocchi the Rock is slice of life, I think, have a lot going on in them, and yeah, I don't think that we need to label it as slice of life boring. But yes, I prefer romance. The best way I can describe it is most good anime I'll at least enjoy. But I think, yes, there's a lot more character, or I don't want to say there's more character development. There's a higher emphasis on character development, in my opinion. So if you want to go through like a truly nothing happens slice of life anime, this is like kind of going into my bag here. I'm going to be in my bag because I'm talking about anime. But to go into my bag, GJbu, Good Job Club, I found that one to be a nothing happens boring anime. Another one is Seto Kai Yakuin Domo, the one about dirty jokes in the student council. Those are definitely less happenings, whereas a K-On! Or even the first season of Clannad. The second season, no one's gonna really call a slice of life, but yeah. So, yep, slice of life romance. That's fun. I enjoy isekais, but I also think that they're overrated, if that makes sense. I think isekais are not almost always watchable. There's a lot of really hard to watch isekais. I'll get into that later. But in general, I can be looking forward to an isekai on a weekly basis and enjoy it, while also saying that they don't deserve the same plateau as other anime. So I will never rate an anime, even like a really good isekai. To me, a really good isekai, let's take one of the old ones. Let's take like No Game No Life and compare it to something like K-On! I would probably take K-On! Every time. Or even compared to like Sakura-so, which I think is a hot take. I really enjoy Sakura-so. I'll take Sakura-so every time, even though I enjoy watching No Game No Life. Yes, isekai has a problem where it's not that the isekais themselves are bad, it's that they're so popular. This is from like a social or maybe like marketing standpoint. They're so popular that there's just so many of them, because if you're a writer, you want to have the most broad appeal. And if that broad appeal is isekai, then more writers are going to be writing isekai. Some of those writers are going to be good writers. Some of those writers are just going to be publishing just for work, and that's fine. But those anime are generally worse than isekai with a little more thought into it. I love ReZero, for example. To me, there's a lot more going in ReZero than the isekai parts. And that's what makes it better than most, in my opinion, isekais. We're going to be getting into an isekai pretty soon, so we'll get more into it later. But I have some strong opinions on it. The next one was Mashuru, which I went on a huge side tangent. Mashuru is decent. It's fine. I really liked... I actually preferred season 1, I think, to season 2. I think season 1 had a little bit more fun school stuff. I think season 2 had a little more convoluted plots that I was, a little bored by. But it's good. Unfortunately, for nothing in Mashuru does anything for me that's really special, which is why both for the first season and the second season, it's gonna get a average score from me. Slice of life combined with isekai is a lot of fun. Yeah, I agree, but a lot of the bad ones are slice of life combined with isekai. I have a story I want to share on the smartphone anime. I was telling a friend about it recently, but to me that one's like a boring one because that's a slice of life isekai. To me that one's boring. I think a lot of them can be boring, but if done right can be pretty interesting. Also, keep in mind, a lot of the times isekai versus fantasy is almost negligent. So sometimes I even forget, like, oh, that one's not an isekai, for example. Mashuru is not an isekai. It's just a fantasy world. There's more, but I'll get into them later on. The next one, so here's another thing. I, in fact, do pay $10 for Crunchyroll every month. I know not everyone does, and I don't criticize people for pirating. I pay for the convenience of being able to watch Crunchyroll on my TV, and the peace of mind that it's not illegal. I still watch pirated anime if it's not on Crunchyroll. Yeah, I mean, isekais are just difficult. Sometimes they're really good, sometimes really bad. To me, they're never, like, they're very rarely, like, transcendent, but they're often very good. But I have no problem with pirating stuff, especially if it's not on Crunchyroll. If you can't get it legally, then I say go for it. Do what you gotta do. I pay for Crunchyroll, which is why, in general, if I have Crunchyroll, there's less of a reason for me to pirate stuff, which is why there's a higher hurdle to watch stuff pirated. That's where Dungeon Meshi fits in. Dungeon Meshi is only on Netflix. It also looks like it's still airing because there's 24 episodes. Oh, so you're talking about like reverse isekais, like Devil's a Part-Timer? Yeah, there's a the term for it is reverse isekai. I have no idea if that's like a proper term or just like a word that I made up because it seems to fit. Devil's a Part-Timer is in that realm. I think the real questionable one is whether or not I'm going to be talking about it later. I'm going to add this to my plan to watch because I'm going to finish what I was talking about. This is on Netflix only. It looks like it's still airing. I will watch it at some point. It looks like a fantasy style, very similar to... Where is it? One of these seasons had something like it. Where is it? I forget where. Is it this season? I'm going back looking for it. Now I can't find it. I can't find it. Regardless, The anime I am thinking about is the one, the Tondemo Isekai. I forget. It's the one with the Fenrir that becomes his friend or something. These are typically, again, generic but decent. I don't have Netflix right now. I will watch it at some point when I either get Netflix or feel that this anime is good enough for me to pirate. Because that's a barrier. It's like, how worth it does it seem to me to be pirated? As of right now, if I'm more bored, higher chance that a lower priority anime I will pirate. Yeah. I'm gonna jump down because you're talking about reverse isekais to an anime I'm really not sure about. It's called Gekkai Elise. I'll get to it again later. I'm not gonna add it because I want to go in order. But this is Surgeon Elise. This one's really complicated to me on whether or not it's an isekai. Yeah. But this is one where I'm really not sure if it's an isekai. It's this one, Gekkai Elise. Is it isekai? Is it not? So what happens? A slight spoiler, but only from episode 1. She dies and then is reincarnated in the real world and then dies again and is reincarnated back into her original world. Now, is that isekai? She does transport worlds or is rebirthed in different worlds. Or is it fantasy because she ends up spending most of her time in the original world? I don't know. It's pretty good. I'll get to it at some point. But that's a tough one for me because I don't know if that's isekai or not. Right? Who knows? Anyway, the next one. On the subject of isekai, Tsukimichi. This is the anime I used a lot for my Monday Wordles. But this one's decent. It's actually still ongoing. This is a two-core anime, which means that it will continue on to next season. So I'm around 13. I'm not going to mark it. As of right now, actually, I think I have it written down as a season 2. Give me a second. Tsukimichi. Yep, that's about right. I have it as a 6. Actually, I need to check something. Yeah, okay. That's about right. So I have it as a 6. It's very decent. I want to get into this more though, because as of right now, Tsukimichi has a 7.76 on Mal. I think that this is a very fair rating. However, we're going to get into next season at some point, but I wanted to touch on this. The anime Tensura, Tensei Shitara Slime Dattaken. That one I think is overrated. I don't think it's bad. It's here. I don't think this is a bad anime. I think it's actually quite good anime. But I think it's very overrated. I think that Tensura's benefit over Tsukimichi is that it endeared itself to the meme community. The dragon, the tsundere dragon, the various memes in Tensura endeared itself to the meme community, which is why Tensura currently, I believe, has like an 8. Tensei. Let's take a look. Tensei Shitara. Tensei Shitara. Slime Dattaken is at like 8.2, 8.3-ish as an aggregate of its 2 seasons. Tsukimichi is at 7.76. I do think that they are both closer to 7.5s, which are both very good ratings. So I don't want to like downplay. I don't want to call these anime bad because I don't think that. But I think that one is maybe either properly rated and one is overrated, or maybe this one needs to recalibrate with Tensura. And I'll also say I think I prefer this one a little bit to Tensura. Yeah. Measuring isekais is difficult. I've talked about this with a friend before. We've had some disagreements on it. But yeah. And then whether or not it even matters that they're in the isekai. Like, what's an example? Actually, going back to smartphone anime. Like, there's really no difference between smartphone isekai being an isekai and a guy getting a smartphone in a fantasy world. So, kind of unimportant. Let's move right along. We have Yubisaki to Renren. This is a sign of affection. This one's very good. I think a little overrated. I think it's good, which on my anime is above average, or which on my list is above average. I think it's a little overrated. I don't think it's boring, but there are lulls that I find a little weak. Parts that I was not thrilled by. Regardless, it's a very good anime. It is a very good romance. Very cute. The main character, the main heroine, very cute. The main relationship, very cute. I appreciate how they develop their side characters. This anime is very good. What was I? Yeah, an omniscient reader. That makes it interesting. I'll get through to Tensor at some point, so yeah. I actually enjoy some of the ones where they hide their past, but it has to be done correctly. The thing about hiding your past is if you have a reason to hide your past, then it adds character depth, which I think is very relevant. If there's no reason other than to be a badass, then I'm a little skeptical. One of those being Eminence in the Shadow. It was funny at first, and then it just became a little cringe. So I haven't finished it, but it's fine. I'm just not all that thrilled. So I got through Yubisaki to Renren. It's good. If you like romance, you should watch it. Moving right along. Mato Seihei no Seibu. No Dore, probably. This is a ecchi, fan servicey, generic, possibly isekai, possibly fantasy. I don't remember. I probably won't watch this. I think I've read some of the manga, but I'm not all that thrilled. I'm not that interested in watching it. And it's on High Dive, so there's no real reason for me to watch it. There's no reason for me to pirate it. I don't see the desire to. At some point, if I do, I'll update my list, but I have no intention to watch this. I did watch The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic. This one was actually decent. I will be giving it a 6, which is a little bit above average. I enjoyed parts of this that I kind of am not expecting to enjoy in a normal isekai. Because my instinct is to mark isekais down a little bit based on cliches, and they actually did a good job for me in developing the story. One of the main things, and this is going to get into spoiler territory, is that it's one where the main character is not meant to be transported to the other world, but isn't neglected. So there's a lot of anime in which somebody is not meant to be dragged to another world, and then, or he's left with a bad skill and he's left for dead. An example of this is Ari Fureta, for example. The whole class goes, and then the first guy has a bad skill, so everyone leaves him for dead. There's a lot of other ones in manga form. Those I actually don't like that much, because I think that it's literally like for the revenge folks, where it throws you a world where everything is stacked against you so that the main character can come back and look like a badass. I much prefer a situation where A, he's on good terms with the people he teleported worlds with. B, he has a legitimate role and always had an intent to be a strong character rather than a revenge theme, and also the other characters are developed well. I think that this one's a very decent isekai. Chiumaho no machigatta tsukaikata. The wrong way to use healing magic, very good. This is one that I really wanted to talk about. I also prefer low stakes isekai in terms of watching it. I don't enjoy. I'm trying to think of an isekai with high stakes where the battles are just not that interesting. Because I enjoy ReZero a lot. It's probably it's one of my favorite isekais because I think that it's developed really. I think that Rem and Amelia are developed really well, and I actually don't like gore, but I think that it's actually used correctly. Trying to think of one that I think is kind of distasteful. Honestly, I got bored of. Well, I've said it before. I think Tensura really dragged on. It gets good at some points, but I think like the battle scenes are kind of. I didn't have a emotional attachment in the main character's plot, so I just wasn't that interested. But the next one is one I really wanted to talk about. Boku no Kokoro no Yabayatsu. Until we get to the very bottom, when we get to the continuing anime, this is going to be the best one I'm going to be talking about. It has an 8.9 on Mal. It's one of the higher rated ones. Here, let's see. What's the top anime right now? It is currently ranked 20 on the top anime list. It is only 0.02 points behind Apothecary Diaries and Clan Night After Story, which, you know me, I love Clan Night After Story. Yeah. Back to our list though. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention. I might be getting into it in summer, so in my next quarterly review, we might be able to talk about it. But there was a time, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, when Crunchyroll was really trying to pair with webtoons to create webtoon anime, and what they chose was Tower of God and God of High School. Tower of God had that one really annoying bitch Rachel that kind of ruined it for me. I was kind of rooting for her to come back, and every time she came back, she would just betray again, and she would just be like the worst fucking character. That really ruined that series for me. The second one was God of High School, was just not that good. And because of that, I am skeptical of webtoon anime, but I will hold my reservations. At some point I will get to solo leveling. But back to Boku no Kokoro no Yabayatsu. This is a very high rating. This is a very good anime. I actually binged, I suppose, this anime kind of in preparation for this, but I was gonna watch it anyway, so I was like, okay, it's good timing. The reason is I would have watched it seasonally almost assuredly, but it's on High Dive, so there's a higher barrier to entry. This is right in my strike zone. It's a school comedy romance, has nice character development, nice drama. I will say I think that this rating's a little overrated. There were parts I was happy watching all the way through, but there were parts that I thought were a little cringeworthy. I don't want to say cringeworthy because that implies like it was hard to watch. It's more that I thought they were a bit childish in their way of approach. And I also think that some parts are a little, I don't want to say low class. What's the better word? Vulgar, maybe? A little juvenile parts. But the character development's very good. The relationship's very good. The characters are really, really fun to watch. It's a great anime. I am going to be giving it an 8 only because it's worse than my 9s and better than my 7s. I think that an 8 is a very fair rating for Boku no Kokoro no Yabayatsu. But on a normal person's list, I can see this being a 9. Okay. Yeah. Tower of God had a little more suspense, but God of High School was literally just fighting, and it wasn't good. Yeah. There was a time when I actually did read a lot of webtoons. I read stuff like Unordinary and all of that. I just kind of got bored of it, and the webtoon app was also kind of just annoying. So yeah, I agree. And also, I find reading about combat a lot worse than watching combat. I prefer reading if it's I prefer reading if there's more stuff to digest, because I glaze over if there's all this information being thrown to me at me while watching an anime through subtitles. But I prefer fights to be on the screen. Now the problem with God of High School is that it is just kind of bad. So yeah. Anyway, I added this. Yeah, I think it deserves an 8. I think that the less anime you watch, the better this is gonna be. Boku no Kokoro no Yabayetsu. Because it's very good, but there's a lot of things that you have to overlook to have it a better and better rating. Dosanko Gyaru. I didn't watch this one. I probably won't watch it. I don't know though. It reminded me of when I tried to watch Hajimete no Gal like 6 years ago, in which that one was really hard to watch. I watched the first 2 episodes. Very difficult. I gave up. Yeah, I got the feeling that there's a lot of fantasy romance on the. Sometimes it's actually kind of difficult for me to tell if it's like a Japanese webtoon. One of my favorite manga of all time is a webtoon. Not a webtoon. Kind of a webtoon. It's Real Life. Here, I'll search it. We're going to open a new tab for this. It's Real Life. Oops. Well, you can't see it all. But this is actually a webtoon. But it's a Japanese webtoon, and it's really good. Heavily recommend Real Life. One of my favorite manga of all time. But we're going to go back down. I don't have intentions to watch Dosanko Gal, but maybe because it's on Crunchyroll, if I'm really bored, I'll do it while watching, like scrolling my phone or whatever. Which I do sometimes. If I kind of want to watch an anime, but I don't really know what to watch, and I kind of don't intend on focusing on it, I'll put on something like Dosanko Gal, or what's the one I did recently? Oh, possibly the worst anime I've ever watched. Yeah, maybe other people would want to see, but maybe the worst anime I've ever watched. It's called Conception. Maybe at some point I'll talk about my least favorite anime of all time. Not sure. But Conception's definitely one of the worst anime ever made. The other anime that I dislike have reasons why I dislike it. Conception, I just think is so bad that it doesn't need to do extra stuff I dislike for it to get one of the worst scores in my eyes. But that's one that I was only watching while doing other things, like playing on my phone or whatnot. This, I'm not gonna say it's that bad, might be something that I do while scrolling my phone or whatever, so I will add it to my plan to watch list. The next one, The Loop. Loop 7回目の悪楽令嬢は元帝国で自由気ままな I forgot what the other part is. It's the 7th time loop, Villain to Kill and Teenager Mercenary. I'll keep those in mind. I don't read a lot of webtoon. Actually, I don't read that much manga anymore. I try, and there's some that I keep up with, but a lot of my manga reading has been replaced with web novel reading, which I talk about sometimes. But I really started reading a lot of web novels after The first time I read the web novel for The Angel Next Door, Tonari no Tenchi wa Dame Ningen Sarete Itaken. When I first read that web novel, I just read tons of web novels. Anyway, this one's the 7th time loop, Akuyaku Reijo. It's alright, but in my opinion, kind of boring. It's not boring in the way that nothing happens, because quite a bit does happen. I just find it not that interesting. I just didn't enjoy it that much. It is okay though. I'm inclined, because this is my list, I feel like I should give it the score that, you know, I think it deserves. Which my goal is to compare it with other other anime I've watched. And if I have other things that I thought were decent at a 5, I think I have to give this a 4. It's not terrible, it's definitely watchable. I just wasn't all that interested. Another one, that same kind of story. Akuyaku Reijo 7レベル。私は裏バスですが、魔王ではありません。This one, another one, kind of just felt like the main character is powerful, you know, and that's about it. The joke is always that she's too powerful and everyone else is weak. It got boring. It's not bad. It's a 4 to me. This next one, Maho Shoujo ni akogarete. What is this? Like, not worship. I admire magical girls. It's high dive. I don't have a lot of desire to watch it. Maybe I will at some point. Who knows? Not gonna add it to my list yet. Ooh, isekai slow lives. That's fair. A lot of isekai slow lives that I think are reasonable. I'm gonna get to some of these isekai slow lives too. But I have no clue what this Majo to Yaju is, even though it's on Crunchyroll. Maybe I'll watch it at some point. Not a clue. I'm gonna move right along. This is The Unwanted Undead Adventurer. It was fine. I was surprised. The ending is by Abe Mao, who did Believe in Yourself from Baby Steps and Never Fear from Fushi Ningen or something. It's funny to me because she's done an average, a below average, and an above average anime, and all of her songs are good. This one was Keep Your Fire Burning. I thought it was excellent. I actually didn't mind this one, but it kind of isn't as good as my 5s, so I'm gonna add it to my 4s. The problem is trying to grade everything on a 10-point scale is kind of difficult. Like, think about it this way. I have watched over 600, maybe closing in on 700 anime. To put everything in 10s or into 10 slots means that everything, assuming I don't use the 1s and 2s all that much, means putting things in essentially 6 boxes 700 times. You're gonna get some anime that are not done justice by their scores and some that are done justice by their scores, but in my head it's hard for me to put, let's say, Little Witch Academia, which is, I think, an excellent anime, on the same tier as Dangers in My Heart, even though I enjoy both of them. To me, it's just like almost, I understand wanting to inflate all your numbers, but it's almost that it's almost a disservice to your other anime to mark a below not a below average, but like a below rate anime to the same level to me. It's why I hold my 10s pretty sacred, even though I have quite a few of them. But I thought this was fine, a 4 or 5. Keep in mind I might adjust these every once in a while. I do so on my own time if I need to adjust it so that basically I look at these ratings as a rank. And if I think that the quality of a 4 is closer to the similar qualities of 5s, then I'll put it at 5. Isekai romance. Recommend Tricked into Becoming the Hero and Stepmother and Divorcing My Tyrant Husband. I'm not gonna lie, those names are not excellent. I don't know anything about the content, but those names give me strong can you survive your stepmother and her twin whatever attacks, which was not a good anime. Had a great opening theme song. But anyway, I did this one, I did this one. I've never watched this Ninja Kamui. Looks kind of out of my strike zone, so maybe I'll watch it, but I have no desire to force myself to watch anything. We're gonna move right along to Tomozaki-kun. I think that this is underrated at a 7.07. I'm not trying to say this is an 8 for sure. It's not an 8. In fact, my rating is probably gonna be a 6 or a 7. But it is better than many of these 7.5s. I think that it's a 7.5. I will go back and look for Tomozaki. I gave it a 5 last time. Yeah, it's still a 5, but it's a strong 5, and it's a stronger 5. See, this is what I mean though, right? Where I can see myself putting this as a 5, the Nanakaime Rupu and Akiyaku Reijo and Fushi no Bonkensha. I can see myself putting all three of these at 5 and this one at 6. But then that would mean that there's a 6 like Tsukimichi that is the same quality to me as Tomozaki, which I'm not sure is true either. It might be more true. But there's some 6s I have that are clearly better than Tomozaki. And there's some 7s that are clearly better than the 6s, which makes it kind of hard to put on a 10-point scale. But just in terms of rank, it's probably about a 5. Anyway, it's good though. I highly recommend it. I actually read parts of the manga and the light novel for it before. Some other one is... yeah, I had a feeling, but I don't know. It's still a sus name. I mean, like, there's a lot of sus names that are pretty good. What's one of them? Trying to think of the sus names one that are like pretty good. I know there's some. Pet Girl Sakura, so a lot of people think is kind of sus. But yeah. I think that this one's strong 5, maybe a 6 if I'm feeling generous one day. I'll mark it up. But I would do that off camera, off stream. Next one. It is a crappy isekai teleport. It's on High Dive. I'm not going to cheat to watch this one. Maybe at some point I will, but I don't feel compelled to go out of my way to watch this on High Dive. The next one is Shin no nakama janai to Yusha no party o oridasarete henkyou something na. Nanchara Kanchara. This one is a second season of a slow life isekai. I mean, you were mentioning you like slow life isekais. This is a slow life isekai that has romance. It's not that good. It's alright. It's watchable week to week. It's not the worst one that came out this season. It's also not that compelling. Frankly, I'll give it a 4. It should probably be a 3, but I'll give it a 4. I am really considering moving up some of the 4s to 5s, but I'll do that on my own time. Second one, a woman gets an isekai into a secondary character in a romance novel. There's a lot of those. Especially because I've been saying I've been reading a lot of web novels. There's a lot of web novels like that. I actually find it a little bit difficult to read those. Just because it's like, there's too much explained almost. I kind of want it to get to the point a little faster. Anyway, Metallic Rogue, never watched it. Really low score. It's on Crunchyroll, but I don't intend to watch it. It doesn't look that good. I won't be watching it. A Foolish Angel Dances with the Devils. I did watch this one. I thought it was okay. Another 4 for me. Definitely might bump some of the other ones up to 5, but I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to bump this one up to 5. It deserves it. And then I'll bump Tomozaki up to 6. The problem with bumping Tomozaki up to 6 is that I need to go back and bump the first season up. So give me a second, let me do that. Edit. 6. Alright. Tomozaki is a 6. I think that's fair. I think that's very fair. But yeah. 4. It's fine. I'm even tempted to go 3, but that's alright. A fun one. By the way, this one is... There's a lot that happens. It's just not all that interesting. It's okay, but... There's a lot of cringe in this one too, so... You watch as much anime as me, it's going to be a 3 or 4. The next one, very fun one. Does it deserve a high score? Absolutely not. But this is the Tale of the Wedding Rings. It is a ecchi, kind of past ecchi, mature anime. Very fun to watch. Very lewd. I'm going to give it a 3 just because I have a hard time giving it higher. But it was a lot of fun to watch. The next one, Sasaki and P-chan. Is alright. Not that good. It's going to get a 3. It reminded me a little bit of saving 80,000 gold in another world for my retirement. The difference is that that one had an ending theme song called Yup Buddy Economy, which I thought was very funny. The thing about P-chan is alright. I like the idea of P-chan, but a lot of loose ends. A lot of characters I just didn't really understand. There's actually an element to Sasaki and P-chan that goes a little deeper that I might go... I'm going to talk about in brief, but I'm going to talk about more at some point. I think Sasaki is too benevolent. I think that this is a problem I see with too many main characters. When a main character is too nice. And this might just be me being cynical, but I don't like it when people are too nice. I like it when they're generally good people. But I don't like it when they are nice at the expense of themselves. Without going too deep into spoilers, it's like when a guy can collapse an economy for like one guy that's like a side character, even if that side character was kind of cool, I just think it's a little too much. Or like he financially destroys himself. I feel like the other thing is that he's overpowered. He's an overpowered main character. I want that overpowered main character to just crush the weaklings. I don't want them to like be benevolent and come up with the kumbaya answer. There was a little too much of that. The other thing is, I think, so the English translation is Sasaki and Peeps. I think that's a fine translation, but in the subtitles, I'd prefer they kept it as P-chan. That's just a personal thing. Maybe it's because I understand Japanese. I'd prefer they had left it as P-chan, even though I think that Peeps is a fun translation for the title. Overpowered main character is only fun if they don't take it seriously. Yeah, I agree. Not unilaterally, but in general, yeah. But I think if they take it too comically, it ends up like Eminence in the Shadow. And I said before, I don't think it's bad, but I thought Eminence in the Shadow was too much. I think they overplayed the unseriousness. I'd prefer they take it like Tsukimichi. The main character is very powerful. He doesn't take it that seriously, but he's not stupid with it. It's not that hard. Moving right along, we got whatever this is on Disney Plus. No interest in watching that. Okay, we're gonna move right along because I have no interest in watching it. I have no intention to watch it. I think I get Disney Plus through some service I pay for, but no desire. Not super high rated. We'll move along. This one surprised the heck out of me. It's called The Useless Tamer Picks Up Trash or something. This one, big surprise, was very decent. I'm gonna give it a 5. I think it was a little bit. There were some parts that I think costed it being a 6. The main one is that I think that so as a slight episode 1 spoiler, plus 99 wooden stick. That sounds like the anime that I watched one time called Murabito A becomes level 999 or something. It's a silly one where like a powerless character in a world of powers trains himself to be overpowered. It's silly. It's okay for the first 50 chapters. Gets a little boring. But I'm going to be talking about Useless Chamber That Picks Up Trash. There were some parts that bothered me. Episode 1 spoiler is there's kind of an isekai element of somebody from the real world is kind of like a voice in the back of the main character's head at all times, but it's more there just to like explain stuff and give real world examples. It's kind of useless. I'd prefer it was just the main character without the voice in her head. I don't think the voice actually adds anything. I think it's a little useless. But overall, it's a very good anime. I like the opening. I like the ending. It's good. I'm gonna give it a 5. I think it's definitely a good baseline. Another one I thought was a very interesting surprise that's a good baseline, Gekkai Elise. I talked about it briefly being a decent anime. Surprised me quite a bit. A 5 is a good score in my book. Now, if I had a problem with Gekkai Elise, I think that she's another like far too benevolent protagonist. I mean, it makes a little more sense for her because she's a doctor, but I don't know. I'm gonna say a spoiler right now, actually. A spoiler about Surgeon Elise. So she makes a bet with the king. So she's the king wants her as like a noblewoman to become the next queen, but she wants to become a doctor after being reborn. Now, I don't see why she can't be one of those great queens that has a background in medicine and helps people. I don't know why she just doesn't become the queen and then use her power as the queen to get herself into a position of power through nepotism. Or not even nepotism, but like, you know, she's the queen. She can do what she wants. I don't see why she has to not be the queen in order to pursue her dream of being a doctor. It didn't really make sense to me. Now, with that said, I actually think it's a very good anime. A lot of good themes of redemption. A lot of good stuff in this anime. Big surprise along with this one, The Tamer That Picks Up Trash, for this season. Surprises of the season. Now, there's a lot of good anime this season. These two, I think, surprised me the most as being good. She could have been the Peter the Great of that world. I don't know who Peter the Great is, but yes, I believe she could have definitely been one of those, like, oh my god, she's so good at everything, and she's the queen. I see. Yes, she could have been the Peter the Great of this fantasy world. And I'm kind of disappointed that she wasn't. But it's still a good anime. It really surprised me last season. Now, Buchigiri. I see it every time on Crunchyroll. Have not watched it. Don't plan to watch it. Doesn't look that good, to be honest. Maybe at some point, I'll be looking for something like it. Interesting. History facts. Same with Kyujitsu no Warumono-san. This one actually has a good rating. Maybe at some point I'll watch it. I'll add it to my plan to watch list. Good compromise. Next up, the Mofu Mofu Nare Nare Suru Tame ni Ganbattemasu. This is the fluffy isekai, where the main character becomes friends with all the animals. To be honest, it was kind of the first anime to come out last season, because it had an early release date. It wasn't bad. I kind of expected it to be worse, but it wasn't very good. Yeah, I'm aware Asara is the equivalent of an emperor. Yes, she could have been the queen that's, she could have basically been the, maybe not the emperor, but the higher up that does all kinds of shit, there are those people. And every time you see them in the real world, you're like, oh my gosh. They're like, have you ever seen those articles that's this person at 12 years old became a Stanford graduate and a NASA scientist, and he also was an important person in doing calculations for the moon landing, and he knew computer science. And then you're like, you did that at 12? I can't even get a job at 22. It's one of those people. She could have been one of those people because she had the benefit of her isekai, But it was still good. Anyway, we're moving on to a really bad anime next. This one is Saikyo Tanku no Meikyu Konyaku Tairyoku Nani Nani Nanchara Kanchara. This is the tank, the greatest tank or whatever. It's not that good. But if you're a big fan of isekais where the main character is overpowered and power of friendship, I'm going to give it a... what did I give a 3? I gave this a 3. Frankly, this should be a 2 then. I need to go through my scores again. I want to compare it properly, because... Is it worse than my current 3s? No, it's just alongside all the 3s. 2 is a pretty bad rating in my book. 2 is a really bad rating in my book. So I think it's going to get a 3, but it's one of my weaker 3s, which is not a good sign. Here's Torture Princess. I haven't watched it. I read a little bit of the manga. I think it's a little cringe, so no. Another one. This one looks like yaoi. If you're into yaoi, go for it. Looks like it's a good rating. I have no interest in watching this, so I haven't. Sengoku Yoko. I haven't watched this. Ooh, Urusei Yatsura second season. Maybe at some point I'll watch this. I don't know. I know the first season of the remake had Tokyo Shani Randevu, but I don't know. So we're getting into the anime with very few members, which means that I probably haven't watched it. But I don't know. I can't give you a fair rating on this only because I've never watched it and I have no intention to. So it does say it's boys love, so you might enjoy it. 7.67 rating, boys love. That's probably all you need to hear. But unfortunately, I can't give you a review of this. But yeah, we're getting into the stages where very few of these I would have watched only because very few people have watched it. Here's another one. I don't even know where they're going to... I don't even know where you can watch... Oh, this is 3 minutes. Oh, never mind. Yeah. I have not watched any of these bottom ones because they are small. So, that was this season alone. There's also this important section from last season. Last season, we had the greatest, in my opinion, continuing anime series. I don't want to say greatest. It might be a little exaggeration. But if not the greatest, one of the greatest continuing anime seasons with this selection. Free Ren, which, as you know, I think is the best anime to come out in a long time. I have a lot of reasons for saying this, and I'm going to explain it. Oh, One Piece is still going on. That's crazy. I have a lot of reasons why I think this is the best anime to come out. I don't want to say it's the best anime to come out ever. It's not my anime GOAT. It might not be on my top 10. It's definitely in my top 20 or 25. It's definitely a 10 in my book, but I have a lot of things about this. I think Soso no Frieren is one of maybe 2 or 3 anime that I think truly deserves the best spot on Mal. Now, I don't watch English dubs, so yeah. The Japanese is very good. That's all I can say. I had a friend that preferred to watch them dubbed. Watch what you want to watch, but I'm gonna watch it how it's intended, how it came out. This is the top anime right now. I am really hoping that Frieren stays at the top. Currently it has a lead, but you know how these leads tend to hold up with this creeping in the background. The Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood fans are very committed. They are very committed to making FMA Brotherhood the top anime. So for now, I'm really hoping this stays. I believe that this is one of maybe 3 anime that truly deserves the top spot on Mal. What do I mean by that? My favorite anime of all time is down here. It's number 20 or 16. Very good rating. Clan Out After Story. 8.93, very good rating. Top 20, very great. Here's the thing. I think it's the greatest anime of all time. I think there's not enough good things I can say about it. I even think that it saved my life in many ways. Changed my entire world. But it does not have the widespread appeal that Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood does. Not everyone will enjoy Clan Out After Story, and that's okay. The people who it will impact in ways you can't even imagine. But those people can't give it 100 out of 10 to balance the scales. And that's okay. It's okay for the Clan Ad fans to just know that it's good. Know that it's our number 1. It's not going to be winning top anime for very long. And that's okay. Frieren, on the other hand, has widespread appeal. It has very good character design. Actually, it has great characters, a great story, which you need always. It also has the production values. The music, not just the... Yes. The music has some of the best anime openings ever. I mean, I love Haru. It has Anytime Anywhere by Mille as the ending. Excellent. And it has, as much as I hate to admit, I don't like Evan Call all that much. His soundtracks, Evan Call and Kevin Penkin's soundtracks, amongst other Japanese people, I just know those names because you can tell when somebody puts their name in English. Those soundtracks were really good. Overall, great. Animation by Madhouse, excellent. Character design, impeccable. I think that it is the best anime with the widest appeal. And for that reason, I think it strongly deserves to stay the number 1. The only other anime that I can consider being number 1 are Sangatsu no Lion second season. I'm surprised this fell so much. I think the problem with it is that it's not everyone's cup of tea, but this is probably the greatest, if not one of the greatest. In my opinion, it's the greatest production values. It's one of the greatest altogether stories, which is why I'm a little disappointed to see it down here. I think it should be top 10. Other than that, you're gonna have to go further down. But at least for now, because of that, I am very, very, very glad Frieren has the number 1 spot on Mal, and I hope we keep it that way. It strongly deserves that spot. I don't think anything has the quality and the appeal that it does. So, easy 10 out of 10 for me. And the next one, honestly, this is the closest we've been to having, in my opinion, 2 10 out of 10s in the same season since Violet Evergarden and A Place Further in the Universe came out in the same season. I'm going to give this a 9. Only because my 9s are basically my 10s that just couldn't make it over the hump. Apothecary Diaries is really good. It's really good. I don't have enough good things to say about this collection of 2 anime from last season, or from the continuing season of fall 2023. We also have confirmed a second season of Apothecary Diaries, which I'm really excited for. So, yay. Anyway, the other one, if I'm not mistaken, there's no more that I'm watching, is Shangri-La Frontier. This one was good, but it really didn't move the needle for me. I'm going to give it a 6. It's a little bit above average, maybe. But, no, never mind. I'm going to give it a 5. I think it's almost a 6. I have a thing, though, where I think Shangri-La Frontier baited me a little too much with the romance. So, Saigare, the kind of stalkerish girl, the one that is in love with the main character, I like her a lot, and I was a little pissed off that her screen time was so low. For that reason, I'm going to give it a 5. Other than that, things that catch my eye other than the long-standing series are Nanatsu no Taizai, 7 Deadly Sins spinoff. I did watch all of the main series. Maybe I'll watch this at some point. I'm just not all that convinced. I think they're kind of milking it at this point. But I might watch it at some point. Who knows? Other than that, there's nothing really. We got ONAs. Oh, Great Pretender. I should watch this. I watched the first season, so yeah. Anything else? Nope, I don't see anything. Anything? Oh. Oh, this is just no VA. Okay. I should watch the main series. I will at some point. Movies. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're all set for this season. I really enjoyed this last season of anime. I think it was really good. In short, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or actually, I'll just refresh the page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I watched 18 anime from this season. In addition, 3 from the continuing series. That is a really high clip. Yeah. That's all right. Yeah. I'm just not, yeah. That's just not for me, but I'm glad it exists. That's all I can say. I just, yeah. Yeah, definitely not for me. I'm not sure what polycule. I should really look up terms before I react to them. Yeah. After confirming my suspicion of what you mean, yes, I not a fan of watching. I'm not personally interested in homosexual relationships. And then the other thing is I'm very anti. Yes, I am very anti-polygamous. I am a pretty hardline. I'm a pretty hardline monogamist. Now, harem can bend the line a little bit, but that also is a little bit of a red flag for me. So yeah, probably not gonna watch or read that one. But in conclusion, 18 anime plus 3 from the previous season. That's a very high clip for seasonal anime. So last season, very good. Now, my first impression when looking into the next season is we got we got a lot of sequels. So I'm going to be adding them to my list and talking about some of the seasons and the next season. So after this season, I'll be going back and reviewing my thoughts on them. So we're just going to get right into it. Konosuba. I will be watching Konosuba. I'm also going to say, I think Konosuba's a little overrated. I'm just going to say it. I think that a lot of my enjoyment of Konosuba was a little bit biased. I thought that I enjoyed it when watching it because it was popular. I think it's very good, but I think that it's a little bit overrated. Also, I see this is from Studio Drive. What the heck? So a new studio took over the Megumin spin-offs, and they did Konosuba. They're doing Konosuba Season 3. Also, they're doing Amagami-san Shi no Enmusubi, which is a manga that I've actually read. So that's kind of cool. But I'm a little nervous, but I will be watching it. Kimetsu no Yaiba. I watched the first season. Here's the thing. When an anime goes to a movie for the second season, I tend to forget all about it because we don't have access to them until later. So I generally just forget it happens. And when that happened, I lost all sense of tracking of Kimetsu no Yaiba. So if I were to watch this, I'd have to kind of find my place in Kimetsu no Yaiba again. Now I might, but I don't have any plans to as of right now. If I do, I will talk about it again at the end in my next anime quarterly review. But for now, I'm not going to be watching this one. It's a little bit too much work for me to go back and figure out what I've watched and what I haven't watched. But we're going to be jumping right into Tensura, which I'm going to be watching, and I'm also going to be setting a score of 5 off the bat because that's where I have the first season of the anime. That's where I have the first in the anime, and like I said, I don't adjust scores per season. I have one consistent score. I think that this one's very good, but it's heavily overrated. The other seasons are an 8.2. I think it's closer to Tsukimichi. I think it should be a 7.7. Very good rating, not really elite in my opinion. What is, I think, a very good, maybe not even very good, but anime I enjoyed a lot is Mushoku Tensei. First, I think that a big part of my enjoyment of Mushoku Tensei is the heroines are really good. I'm Team Roxy, but after what happened in last season of Mushoku Tensei, I am all for this relationship working out. Now, I'll also say that when Eris was the main character, I was all for Eris succeeding. I didn't even like her that much, but I thought that it was really well developed. It pissed me off. I know it was for the story. It pissed me off when she ditched the main character. Which is why I was so glad that Sylphie came around, because I think she deserves the world. I think she, if not for Roxy, she'd be my number 1, right? So, where did I have Mushoku Tensei? Did I have an 8 or 7? Mushoku. I did a 7. Okay, that's fair. I do think that it deserves to be a 7, but it's a strong 7, so watching 7. We will update it to see if this season can change my mind. If I'll be honest, if Sylphie ditches him now or he ditches Sylphie, it's going straight down to a 5 or a 6 maybe, depending on how they do it. But I can't keep up with all this shit. So you're on a thin what's the word I'm looking for? You're on thin ice, Mushoku Tensei. If you screw this up, your score is going down for all your seasons. The next season of Hero Aka is on its 7th season. I'll be honest, around the 4th season, I lost track of where I was and I never returned. This new season of Hero Aka is not going to make me any more eager to try to catch up. Unfortunately, I think it's decent. I think it's overrated, but I don't think it's that bad. I think it gets a little too much hate. I'm not keeping up with it, unfortunately. If I do, again, I'll let you know in the next quarterly review, but I'm not that encouraged to keep up with these long-ass shonens. Does Yuri also make me uncomfortable as yaoi? Not as much, but it has to be tasteful. I don't know if I'm uncomfortable. So here's the thing, right? I'm uncomfortable talking about those topics just because I want to avoid controversy. But the reason why I'm uncomfortable by yaoi is just because I'm not into men. I am not gay, so I feel uncomfortable watching that kind of relationship, even if I support other people's right to do so. Yuri, I think it's because there's almost too much. Maybe it's just that when there's two main male characters, it's like there's some sort of instinct to like self-insert, and I don't want to self-insert. Whereas it's a lot harder for me to self-insert when it's two women, you know? Like, to me, that just seems like watching. Whereas maybe there's a little more self-insert in yaoi. I don't know exactly why. I just know that, like, it's harder for me to watch. It's hard for me to be comfortable with it. With that said, I feel most comfortable with straight relationships just because I'm straight. But I have watched Yuri. I'll also say that there are some, maybe it's because I stay away from a lot of those relationships, but it's like a lot of the Yuri relationships I think are just really I think there's a lot of what's the word, subtext in Yuri anime. I also think there's a lot of Yuri what's the word I'm looking for? It might be subtext. Subliminal messaging, that's the word I'm looking for. So take an anime like Licorice Recoil. I love Licorice Recoil. I think that anime is really good. I even have like goods for it. Now, you can debate whether or not that's Yuri or not, right? It's definitely a very close bond between two girls. But it's not Yuri. Whether or not it's Yuri is up for debate, because there's no focus on, like, you know, romance in that show. I think there's more subliminal messaging in shows like that makes me, like, just unconsciously more comfortable with it. Whereas I kind of stay away from anime like Yuri on Ice just because, like, I guess because the word comes out that it's that, and I just stay away from. I don't feel like I have to watch it. And I also think that there's a bias already in the industry, I guess you could say. Or not in the industry, but like in the culture. Because there's so many more guys than girls that make watching, you know, it's a lot of people like me that are comfortable with watching Yuri and maybe not so comfortable with watching yaoi, that it is normalized in the community, kind of. Whether or not that's fair is a different story, but definitely it feels like you just have a lot of people that kind of normalized it, and you have a lot of writers that are maybe also a little less progressive. But if you're comparing something like Licorice Recoil, you could also argue, you'd be wrong, but you could argue something like Haikyuu or Kuroko's Basket. Both have some groups of, yeah, I mean, without getting too far into this, yeah. Without getting too far into this, like, most, from what I could tell, homosexual erotic videos is more for the opposite gender, or for people who are LGBT. So I imagine, this is just my impression, I could be totally wrong, that most gay videos are consumed by gay men and straight women. And most lesbian erotic videos are watched by straight men and lesbian women. But I don't know that for sure. That's just my impression. But yeah, I wouldn't know. I'm not, you know, I'm straight, so all I can say is that's why I'm uncomfortable with, you know, multiple, you know, with yaoi, just because if I'm, yeah. But I'm gonna move right along. I'm gonna change the subject real quick here. I did Mushoku Tensei already. Okay. I did Hiroaka Kaiju Hachigo. Maybe it's something that I'll get. This is something that I can definitely see getting like a lot of media attention. And if it does, I might be peer pressured into watching it, but I have no intention to do so. Not gonna add it to my plan to watch. Another one, the Misfit at Demon King Academy. This is one where I have a friend that really likes the first 2 seasons. I dropped it after the 2nd season because it's hard to keep up with and I thought it was kind of shit. I do not plan on watching it. If I do, I'll catch up on all of it. Spice and Wolf. I actually haven't watched the 1st season, but I will be watching this season of Spice and Wolf, the remake. It's one of those where I think I should watch it. Yeah, but I've always thought that I should watch Spice and Wolf. It just was something that never crossed my mind to watch. Like, it never made it to the. It's all right. But Spice and Wolf is one that just never made it to my actual screen. So rather than watching it, the old version, I'm just gonna be watching the new one. And if it turns out it's kind of shit, then I'll go back and watch the other one. But I am excited for this new season of Spice and Wolf. It's alright. I mean, I have plenty to watch and read, but maybe other people are going to be interested in it. I know that, who was it, Maria? Somebody was talking about yaoi in the past, so, maybe they'd be interested, so. Definitely, if other people are interested in it, then those would be some pretty good recommendations. So hopefully somebody finds it. But I'm going to move right along. I will be watching Spice and Wolf. We'll see how it goes. Date Alive. I watched the first 3, I think, and I thought it was cringe. I have a friend that really likes Date Alive. I don't dislike it, but I think I had so many friends that told me it was like the best thing since sliced bread that it kind of got soured on it for me. So I don't plan to watch this new season of Date Alive. If I do, I will catch back up on all my Date Alive. But I'm kind of skeptical as of right now. Irregular Magic High School. I did watch this, and I actually rewatched it recently just to catch up for this season. And it's not great. It's fine. I expect it to be fine. What did I give the previous season? I think I gave the previous season a 5, but What did I have it as? I had Mahoka Koko no Retosera 4. You know what? It deserves a 4. It really does deserve a 4. It's not bad. It says bad here, but it's not that bad, but it's just, I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. Oh, that reminds me. I need to go to Mahoka. I need to find the visitor arc. This one? Yep. I never added this one to my list. It's also gonna get a 4. Okay. So we're good. The next one. Ooh, this is gonna be a good one. Eurocamp. Love Eurocamp. Oop. What? I can't mark it as anything but plan to watch? Damn. Well, I'll add it to my watch when it comes out. Eurocamp is very good. I highly recommend Eurocamp. This is another one with, you know, Yuri subtext, but it's not Yuri. It is a slice of life. Oh, this is another one where nothing happens if you don't want it to happen, but there's a lot more going on with character development that makes it very good. I think that this one's going to be very good. It's just season 3 of an already good series. Moving right along. Tensei shitara dai nana oji datta node. Nankara chankara. This is I was reborn as the 9th prince. I've read the manga for this up to a certain point. It's going to be fine. It's going to be kind of It's going to be a guy on a power trip, but it'll be fine. You know what it's going to be like? It's going to be like... Where is it? This one. Level 2 cheat. Same thing. Tensei Kisoku. Same thing. All of them are going to be generic isekais where, you know, he's going to solve a lot of problems and be very overpowered. And it's going to be okay. But, it's not going to... It's probably going to be a 3 or a 4, if I'm going to be honest. Next up, Sasayaku yo ni koi o utau. Here's the thing. This is the girls' love anime that you would be you were asking about before. One of my favorite anime, not one of my favorite anime. An anime I think is very good is Bloom Into You. Yagate Kimi ni Naru. That one I think is so good. Irrespective of the girls' love aspect, that anime is really fucking good. If this anime is anything like it, we're eating good. But I don't know yet. I haven't watched anything. I haven't read the source material. I have no clue. We're just gonna see how this goes. Sentai Daishikaku. This looks action sci-fi. I'm not that interested. Maybe if this is one Yostar, If this is one that gets a lot of hype, I can see myself watching it out of peer pressure, but I don't intend to watch it. What I do intend to watch is Hananoi-kun to Koi no Yamai. I've read the source material for this up to a certain point. I thought it was very good. If they do this series justice, I'll be very happy. It didn't transcend. It wasn't the greatest thing or anything, but I enjoyed it a lot. So that's my hope, is it's a good adaptation. Ooh, you don't understand how excited I am. Okay, not this next one. Windbreaker, kind of interesting. I can see myself watching this, but I'm not desperate to. If it's good, if there's a lot of good reviews for it, I'll watch it. But the one that I'm super excited for, this is the one that I'm literally like, oh my gosh, this is one of my top 5 favorite anime of all time. Season 3, Hibiki Euphonium. You don't understand how hyped I am for this. You can kind of sense it in my voice, but you really don't understand. This, I think, is a top 5 anime of all time for me. To put it in perspective, I got Clannad at the top there. Or, sorry, franchises. Obviously, there's a lot of seasons. I've Clannad at the top, then Shiayafuru, and then Sangatsu no Lion. I think Hibiki Euphonium is number 4 for me. An all-time series franchises for anime. I love Hibiki Euphonium. I recently rewatched it in anticipation of season 3, and I bawled like a bitch. I love Hibiki Euphonium. I am so excited for season 3. Am I nervous? Yes. Am I nervous that it'll disappoint? In a way, there's a lot of history to it. Hibiki Euphonium was already one of my favorite series. Kyoto Animation was already my favorite studio by a nautical mile. But an anime that broke, or not an anime that broke me, an event that broke me happened in July of 2019. If you could guess, it was the Kyoto Animation fire. That event broke me for weeks. And I don't know if I'm really fully recovered, but I was destroyed by that event. It's a tragedy that would have been tragic no matter what. But to me, what happened to the studio and the mark it left was almost more damaging than the event. I don't want to say that human life is replaceable, because that's not at all that's not at all the point I'm trying to make. But there is a difference between this is going to sound bad because it's like I'm prioritizing tragic events. But to me, the tragedy of the Kyoto Animation fire goes far beyond the lives lost, the talent lost, and the data lost in that fire, because there was a company can't just like get back up from that. There's so much extra trauma that it really is. I'm still emotional over it, but the point is that there's a lot of trauma when it comes to Kyoto Animation. My favorite animation studio by a long shot. The fire, you can't just recover from that. You can't just heal from that. Not to mention, you lost huge industry names, and like the names that survived can't just get back up. So you had Yamada Naoko, one of the greatest directors in the industry, essentially move off to another studio because there's too much trauma. And I don't blame her, right? There's no way she could have just pretended like nothing happened. Now, the problem. Was she the director of Hibiki Euphonium? No. Was she a crucial cog in Kyoto Animation, especially in Hibiki Euphonium? Yes. She was she was not the director, but she was the episode director of some of the best episodes. And now you're gonna have to find some way to replace it. She was a veteran that could lead other people and knows, she's an important figure in Kyoto Animation, and now she's not there. That's gonna take a lot. I'm also gonna say this. Another reason why I've been this hyped for Hibiki Euphonium 3. I went to Anime Expo in 2019. That's an anime convention in Los Angeles. That was before the fire, and it was before COVID. Hibiki Euphonium 3 was announced July 2019. And they got hit with the double whammy of, like, tragic, unforeseen events. And unfortunately, you can't just expect people to, like, pretend like that doesn't happen. They are finally getting ready for season 3. I'm excited for it, but I am a little, I'm a little worried. Now, when I watch the first episode, I'm sure my breath will be taken away and I won't be worried anymore. But I just got to admit, there's a part of me that's a little worried, given all the things that have happened, all the ways to get to where we are. Now, am I still uber excited for Hibiki Euphonium? Is it still not the anime that... I want to watch it. Is it still the anime I'm looking forward to by like a lot? Yes. I'm very hopeful. I don't think that it'll be ruined. I think it'll be good. I'm just raging. But I will move on. I've been talking about this for like 10 minutes. I will not be watching Black Butler because I haven't watched the first season of Black Butler. So I will not be watching the second season of Black Butler. Unnamed Memory. Is this Fate? What is this? Adventure Fantasy Romance. Alright, I never intended to watch this, but I could watch this. This is a light novel adaptation. Alright, you got me. Good enough. Kami wa game ni uete iru. This looks like a generic thing that I can see myself watching. Sure. Now, I don't know if these things will make it to the end, but we'll at least see. This is what I intend to watch. Same with this Ji-san Ba-san Wakagairu. Who knows, but we'll at least add it to the list. Ooh, Bartender got a new season. Never would have seen that coming, but I haven't watched season 1. If I watch season 2, then I'll talk about it next quarterly review, but I have no intention to right now. Re-Monster. I can see myself watching it, but I won't add it for now. I don't plan on watching it, so I'm gonna keep it on hold for now. Yosakura Sanchi no Dai Sakusen. What is this? Action comedy? Maybe it'll... This is another one that I'm not sure I'll be watching, but if I do, I'll just add it later. It doesn't hurt to not add it to my list. What I will be watching, no matter how generic, is this level 2 cheat Tata Motoyusha. I have read the manga. It's generic. It's fine. It's not gonna get higher than a 5. It's not gonna get lower than a 3 if it doesn't screw up. So, generic. Same with the next 2 are both other fantasy isekais. They're going to be somewhere between 3 and 5. If it does really good, it's going to be a 6. This one could earn a 6. I actually really enjoyed this one. But they're generic isekais. Now, Tensei Kizoku Kantei Skiru de Nariagaru. This is the genius aristocrat has the power of analysis or something like that. Or of appraisal. Now, I read the manga for this one. It's one of the ones I'm more caught up on. I actually think that it has a lot of good themes. Now, themes are not something you typically pay attention to in isekai manga. I thought there were some good moments to the manga. Now, will it do it justice in the anime? Will it be better? Will it be worse? I don't know, but I could see it being Tomozaki-kun level for sure. So, we'll keep an eye out for that one. Deki sokanai to yobareta motoeiyu wa jikka. Oh, this is a former hero failure, some shit. I'll add it to my list. I'll probably watch it. It'll probably be bad. Same as the other ones. Ooh, One Room Hiatari Futsu Tenshitsuki. I do remember reading parts of this manga. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be like a 6 or a 5. What I do need to watch is The Duke of Death and His Maid. I've watched the first episode of the first season and never kept up with it. I know it's good. Trust me, I know it's good. I will at some point watch it. I don't know when. When I do, I will update it for all of them. If I watch it in time for the next quarterly review, I'll update it all. But I have not yet watched it, so I'm not going to add it to my plan to watch. Next, Kai to Otome to Kamikakushi. This is not Sento Chihiro no Kamikakushi. What is this? Bookstore clerk who wants to become a novelist after some writing success in her youth. I could see myself being interested in this. Then again, it seems a little spooky, to be honest. I'm not sure. Who knows? I'll keep it as is, but if there's any hype for it, then I might watch it. The next one, Boo Archive, the animation. Dave is going to be really excited for this. I know for a fact that Dave is going to be super excited for this. Dave loves Boo Archive. Now, does he care about the characters? No clue. Maybe he just does it because, you know, keep up with dailies. But Dave really likes Boo Archive, so I'll let him know about this one. Next one, New Gate. Oh, this is a Die in the Game, Die in Real Life. Fine, I'll watch it. Oh, fuck. I'll watch it. It's probably gonna be eh. And that's okay. Ooh, this is gonna be really good. I know for a fact it's gonna be really good. I remember seeing the trailer and really loving it. This is the night jellyfish can't swim or something like that. I have high expectations for this one. Please be good. I mean, when you have, I will say this: you have this, you have Hippiki Euphonium season 3, and you have Konosuba season 3, and you have Mushoku Tensei season 3. If you screw up the season, it's on the little guys. You know, like, please don't screw the season up. I'm really hoping. It would be legendary if we could get 3 seasons in a row where we have Free Ren, Apothecary Diaries, Dangers in My Heart, and Sound Euphonium. We can't screw this up, right, guys? It'll be good. Trust. Where am I? Seiyu Rachio no Uramote. This, apparently this is Girls Love, but independently, I don't know if I've said this before, I probably have. I am really big into voice actors. I love Taketatsu Aina, and all these Seiyu stories are quite interesting. So, I'm going to be watching it just for the Seiyu parts. So, that'll be interesting. I expect this to be good. If it's not, oh well. But, yeah. The Fable. What is this? Is this like a Tonegawa-esque comedy? I probably won't be watching it. Oh, this is actually exactly like Tonegawa, right? Isn't it? No, it's not. Never mind. I'm wrong. But yeah, I probably won't be watching it. The Train to... What is this? The End of the World? What is this? I plan to watch this. I remember seeing it, thinking that it had a very interesting premise. We'll see at the end of the season if it was right. Anyway, Vampire Dormitory. That looks yaoi-esque. I don't think it is. That is... Oh, it's Ouran High School Host Club-esque. Oh, it's Ouran High School Host Club-esque. Have you watched Ouran High School Host Club, guys? I'm sure you know Kiss Kiss Fall in Love. Do 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 do. Okay. Good thing my singing's not good enough for me to get copyright struck. But Soccer Kiss. Kiss Kiss Fall in Love. Do 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 do. I'm getting strong Kiss Kiss Fall in Love vibes with Vampire Dormitory. I will be adding it to my list. I have watched Ouran High School Host Club. I think it's fine. Might be a little bit ikemen for me. I don't know. We'll see. Girls Band Cry. I don't think that this is gonna be like... I don't think this is gonna be like... I don't think this is gonna be like Bocchi the Rock, but it does look interesting. So I'm gonna add it for now and see what happens. We'll see. We'll see how like Girls Band it goes into. Kenka Dokugaku. What is this? What is this? Oh, that's kind of interesting. I mean, it doesn't at all look like something that I would enjoy, but the premise is interesting. So he's like a very strong... Oh, this is a manhwa. Yuhobin. This is a Korean? Yeah, this is Korean. Interesting. Guile? Very interesting. I'll tell my brother that there's a manhwa with a character named Guile. He'll like that. But I don't plan to watch it, but if it shows up in my Crunchyroll, I can see myself watching it. We'll see though. I mean, you'll see at the Anime Quarterly next July probably. We'll see though. I'm not sure. Next, Tadaima Okaeri. This is a boys' love. There you go. Tadaima Okaeri. Looks like a boys' love where they adopt a kid or something. I don't know. I'm not really paying attention to it. I won't be watching it, but you might enjoy it. So give it a shot. Astronaut. I see romance, I see comedy. I am adding it to my list. It might suck, but that's for you guys to figure out in the next Anime Quarterly. I'll be giving my opinion on it. So, next we have Henjin no Salad Bowl. That seems funny. I'm going to add it. Funny name. We were talking about funny names earlier. Maybe this is one that's funny and good. But if it's not, that's fine too. High speed etoile. Is this Formula D like? Looks Formula D like. This is bothering me. Is better? It's fine. Well, I don't know anything about BL, so I'm just pointing it out because I know some of you guys like it, but who knows? Anyway, I already did this one. I did this one. This one looks like Formula D. Could be interesting. I'll leave it for now, but if it ends up on the next Anime Quarterly, I would not be surprised. We'll see. Next, Karasu Aruji wo erabenai. This looks like a historical fantasy. Frankly, I'm not all that interested in these historical... Oh, that's not true. Apothecary Diaries is a historical fantasy. I just think that the last time I tried it was just like a little underwhelming. So I'm going to leave it as is for now, and I could be proven wrong. A baseball anime. I'll be honest, I really enjoyed Big Wind-Up, but I thought that Ace of Diamond, the kind of flagship baseball one, was a little boring. So I might not be watching this one. Next one, Token Rambo. Wow, not a good season, huh? I won't be watching this one. Oh, this one, the Kenka Dokugaku. Yeah, it does seem mid. I'm not gonna lie. The premise seems interesting, but the anime seems mid as a whole. Wow, hell? Wow. Okay. Yeah. I'll leave that. Well, I didn't add it, did I? I'm not sure. I'm gonna leave it as is. If I watch it, I watch it. If I don't, I don't. Not a big deal. Tsugi! Tonari no Yokai-kun. I'm not that excited about that. Now, Idolmaster Shiny Colors. I watched the first season of Idolmaster and I really enjoyed it. And then I got all confused. So I have an Idolmaster story, guys. When I was in high school, I watched the Idolmaster. Oh. Yeah, I don't think so either. You're probably right. But we'll see. When I was in high school, I watched the Idolmaster, okay? It was the first season, it was the one 26 episodes. I really liked it because I just watched Love Live. I love Love Live. And I watched the Idolmaster. I was like, this is okay too. And then I looked at, because Idolmaster is a big franchise. I looked at all the related anime. I had no idea what to watch next. As it turns out, what I ended up watching next was a mecha spin-off of Idolmaster, and that kind of ruined it. And I had no idea what to watch next, so I never actually ended up watching Idolmaster Shiny Colors. But I want to. So at some point, I'll be watching Idolmaster Shiny Colors, all of it, and that'll include this. But for now, it will not make the list. Now, Women's Bicycle. That seems interesting, but then it could also be, you know, it could be anywhere from Yowamushi Pedal, which is a really good boys race bicycle anime, to Iwakakeru or Keijo, which is just girl fan service. Who knows? This will probably make my list, to be honest. But, yeah, not right now. Tsugi. Oi Tombo. A tomboy car racing accident person? Not that interested. Mini Niji animation? No. Okay, we're in the nothing anime section. Okay. TV continuing. These are the ones that if I were continuing to watch it, then I would have already watched it in the first season. Anything else? ONAs? No. We had a Bocchi the Rock movie? That's crazy. Oh, it's a compilation. Damn. I was so excited. Ah. Oh. You're asking for the racing one? The bicycle racing one? Where is it? This one? The Rinkai? Would I be disappointed if it were fan service? No, but if it was shitty fan service, I'd be disappointed. I'd want it to either be good fan service or bad fan service with a good story. Keijo, I was at least interested because the moves were so silly that like I was interested in the sport. Iwa Kakeru was just boring. But anyway, going back to looking at the movies, what do we have here? Blue Lock? I haven't watched Blue Lock yet. Probably will at some point. Trapezium. Interesting. Uma Musume. Probably won't be watching that, but I like Uma Musume as a series. What do we got here? No. Gintama on Theater 2D? No. Nope. Oh, we have the Iris movie. That's maybe. I'm not sure. Sports anime in general are so wild, yeah. I mean, I enjoy sports anime quite a bit, actually. I'm not gonna lie. Some more than others, but I'm not ashamed to admit I like Haikyuu. I like Kuroko's Basket. This is kind of strange. I'm not sure if other people will agree with me. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm not sure if people will agree with me, but I don't like the overly realistic sports anime. So like Slam Dunk, I like far less. I mean, okay, I don't want to say that because I haven't really watched it all that much, but I prefer Kuroko's Basket to Slam Dunk by a lot because Kuroko's Basket has more silliness. And it kind of breaks the tension of all the the seriousness. Because it's still high stakes, but it's not as uber focused. Same with Haikyuu, because Haikyuu honestly has a lot more of the silly stuff if you really think about like the other things that are happening. There's a lot of important parts, but Haikyuu is actually a lot of the silliness. Yowamushi Pedal has a lot of the silliness. What are some here? I'm done with the seasonal anime, so I'm going to look briefly at the sports anime, and then I'm going to end after that because I went through all the anime this season. So Haikyuu, silly. Kuroko no Basket, silly. Yuri on Ice, yaoi, haven't watched it. Free, I actually do plan to watch just because it's Kyoto Animation. Blue Lock, haven't watched it. Chihayafuru, that one's actually a serious one, but to me it's fundamentally different than a normal sports anime. Ping Pong, super serious. Ballroom Yokoso, also super serious. I guess it's more to say that it depends on how it is, because I feel like maybe it's like the art style of Haikyuu feels silly. I don't know. But there's certainly a lot of silliness in Kuroko no Basket and Haikyuu. It's okay. I mean, I enjoyed Kuroko, so I don't mind getting more seasons, but you're right that it did drag on a little bit. Yeah, I'll look at this in my own time, but... Oh, Baby Steps with a lot of silliness. I'll deal with this in my own time, but for now, I think I've gone through all the anime from last season I watched, all the anime I plan to watch for this next season. If there was something you wanted me to watch, you can comment it on the archive, I believe. That should be doable. If you missed this stream now, then yeah, feel free to comment in the archive what you're watching, what you think I should be watching, if I missed something, whatever. But yeah, had a lot of fun. I always enjoy talking about anime. I've said it before, but there's certain anime things that I want to do at some point that I haven't gotten around to with this channel. But you'll see soon enough if I do them. And if I don't, then oh well. But on that note, I will be ending the stream soon. I got through all the anime, so. I kind of stay away from non-Japanese animation. I don't even really watch Korean animation. But for other people, the suggestions there in the chat. So if you wanted BL suggestions, you got them in the chat. Webtoons also in the chat. If you're curious about what I'm watching throughout the video, you want me to watch something in particular that I missed or said I wasn't going to watch, comment it in the archive and I should be able to see it. Other than that, I think we're just about done. I got through what I needed to talk about with this season, next season, and I should be ready to go for summer when we get to look at all these. A lot of stuff I'm looking forward to next season too. So I'm looking forward to it. If there's something you wanted me to change up with the format, I'm also down for that. Just also comment it in the archive so I can see your suggestion. というわけで配信終わりたいと思います。今日はいい雑談して、なんか特にアニメを見るべきと思ったとか、なんか見たことが欲しかったというアニメがあったらコメントしてください。というわけで配信終わりたいと思います。I'll be ending the stream. Thanks for tuning in. I really enjoyed talking about anime, so I'm glad I could do this for this season, and I hope to do it for future seasons. In the next, I mean, there's 4 seasons in a year, so I hope to do it 4 times a year. But on that note, I will be ending my stream. Thanks for watching and helping me with my archive on my anime list. Makes it a lot easier to track for future. So hopefully it'll be easier next time than this time. But on that note, I will be ending my stream. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you get I'm looking forward to a good season of anime next season. So I'll catch you guys. Oh, I guess I should say next stream should be my normal karaoke Saturday. Haven't decided exactly what I'm going to be doing, but it might be a review of the former OPs. I'm not sure yet. I'll think of something. If I don't, then it'll just be normal. But it'll be on the next archive. So yeah, I will be ending the stream now. Thank you so much for watching. Good night. 配信終わりたいと思います。見てくれてありがとうございました。配信終わりたいと思います。じゃあね。